Thank you very much. Very, very important question. But let me quickly take the first part. Of course, the APC lost this election. They lost this election because they are not on ground. They are not acceptable. They are not popular. They had 12 years of governance in Osun, and every stratum of this state has a very, very sad story to tell about those 12 years of governance of the APC in Osun. So they lost this election, clear and simple. Now let me come to the second part. The second part is one of the most painful trajectory of our political, system in Nigeria. Now you talk about the local government system. What is the fact about the local government system? The local government system in Osun is a product of the Nigerian Constitution. It's a product of the law. And as we speak, there are three major judgments of the court. The Federal High Court judgment, the Court of Appeal judgment, nullifying the so-called election held by Mr. Boyega after he lost his re-election in 2022, a hurriedly packaged election, nullified by court of competent jurisdiction. The only reason why they continue to occupy those local governments was because they believe in their federal might. A compromised police system, very, very sad. A compromised police system that had judgment of the courts that they ought to enforce, but threw it away and stood ground protecting illegal occupants of local government in Osun, whose election had been nullified. Now let me tell you the last one that happened very recently, just about 6 weeks ago. These same people went back to the Federal High Court to tell the Federal High Court that the Federal Court should pronounce that they had a tenure which had not expired. The Federal High Court, sitting in Osogbo about 6 weeks ago, gave a judgment and categorically stated that the occupant of local government secretariat in Osun had no subsisting tenure, that if any, that tenure had expired since the month of October 2025. You know what? This judgment was served on the police. In fact, the governor personally handed over a copy to the Inspector General of Police in my presence to the IGP when he came to Osun. This is a court judgment that says this book cannot. Please enforce this judgment. As today, that judgment is still being disregarded by the Nigeria police. So that was what has put pressure on the state government, that the governor, believing that one of the things they wanted to achieve was that he would not be able to pay local government salary and staff salary, primary school teacher salary, basic health care provider salaries, decided that every month he was taking from the state government allocation to pay these people, because the funds meant for local government have been seized and warehoused in the UBA. The government went to court, got a judgment compelling the UBA to release this money to democratically elected local government chairman. The UBA refused because the UBA management was afraid of federal might also coming heavily on them. This is part of the impunity that we have endured for these years. This is part of the abuse of power, abuse of position that we have endured, only because we have a minister in Osun who has a relationship with the president and who boasts about that relationship every time he speaks to his party members as the reason why things will not be done in accordance with the law, in accordance with the Nigerian Constitution. We are hoping that now that the election, that they were doing all these things because they believe they will use that to cripple government and win sympathy and then weaken the governor and the party and win the election. Now the election has come and gone. Ademola Adeleke has won his re-election for another 4 years beginning from November. We do hope that now reason will prevail. We do hope now that the rule of law indeed will prevail in Osun rather than the rule of man, and they will allow the third tier of government, the local government system, to run as it should, release funds for local government to the state, so that things will continue to go, as it should.
Yeah.